you're going to hear it here first. You'll never get the whitey and the Asians, especially the Chinese. Let's talk Chinese or China. They're not going to ever get along just like they have in the past. The Chinese or any tendrils out of this situation, because of the communists, just like a Russian is not necessarily a Bolshevik, and just like a Chinese is not necessarily a communist or whatever. Look at the 21 demands after the Treaty of Versailles. The Chinese were mistreated by the Europeans, let's face it, and the Chinese had no recourse but to kind of go with the global plans. And the plans, the Chinese don't complain of being treated like a slave, because part of the work ethic is just to do what needs to get done and do it faster than anybody else. It's an inborn competitive with yourself spirit. I'm saying this as a part Chinese and part British, okay? I know the war between the East and the West, just like Rudyard Kipling said, something about never the twain shall meet. And not only that, I got two sides to my brain. And so I'm going to say what no one's ever going to say and no one has ever said in the past, but this is the reason why our world is so screwed is because the iron and the clay, you might say, is many things, but if you want it in 5 seconds, it's China and the Western people. Now, instead of having a unified thing, you can't mush them together. They have to grow together, strength to strength, like Bruce Lee tried to do, and they got rid of him, or they got him to get rid of himself, because I think he was just put under so much pressure. He did the Kung Fu series, but they didn't want to use him because he looked too much like a Chinaman. So the Chinese will never be respected by Europeans. Okay? The Chinese, I don't care who you are. You might have your best friends are Chinese. I don't care. Your best friends, you know what the old saying goes. That's fine. I don't care. As a Chinese person, we don't care. But the point is that there's something growing and has been growing for hundreds of years. But it's getting really out of control because now the West is turning Chinese. Remember that song, Oh Yes, I'm Turning Japanese? Anyways, this is really something to crunch and munch on. And I'm telling you, if the Chinese act like brats, like the one on RH, BH, for instance, like bratty, that's not going to work either. Neither are we the bowing and scraping. I don't want to bow and scrape, nor do I want to be some kind of a spoiled brat with with boundary problems. So I don't know how this is going to be fixed, because I'm like a needle in a haystack. But I know that this is the facts that nobody wants to say. I wouldn't call it the R word whatsoever. It's just a fact. As the guy told Bruce Lee on the way over in that movie, you don't stand a Chinaman's chance in America, whatever. But it depends on the person, you see. But they're not allowed their freedom, so it's going to bite back. It's going to bite back 7 times, because if anyone is forced to like anyone, which they never will, okay, who cares? We don't have to like each other. I don't have to like the way this guy looks. I don't have to like the way he slurps his tea. But it doesn't mean I think his stuff is wonderful sayings. There's truth in that. But you see, not many people are magnanimous this way. In fact, 99% are not magnanimous. They are comfortable with what they're comfortable with, and all the rest is fake. And that's going to never, ever, ever, ever work.